in honor of the Fremont Golf Club hosting the 2018 Nebraska Ammeter Championship. I'm joined here with past president of the NGA and the Fremont Golf Club, Bob Hillis. Thank you for joining us, Bob.
You're welcome, Mary.
And there's so much history within this course that we're going to get to, but first I just want to ask simply, how long have you been a member, and what about this golf course do you love so much?
Well, I became a member in 1975, so 43 years. I've been here in Fremont, and what do I like about the golf course? It's just a lot of fun. It's got a lot of variety. It's probably not the ideal piece of land that you would choose to build a high-end golf course on, but over the years, you know, it has just an unbelievable set of trees, which are probably the dominant aspect of the golf course. It's always in good shape. The greens are tiny but treacherous and usually pretty fast, and it's just a lot of fun to play. I mean, it's not a long course, so people can make birdies, but with the trees and everything else, if you're not playing well, you can make a lot of big numbers. So that's very challenging, and yeah, so it's been great. We have quite a few good players here, and it's always easy to find a game. It's just a great place to play.
And speaking of what you said about it not being an ideal place to build a golf course, I mean, there is a train track that goes across the entire course. Talk about, you know, how the club has dealt with that, and what's your opinion about it?
Well, it's interesting. Actually, there were two train tracks, and one of them has now been abandoned, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, we actually end up using some of the railroad's right-of-way. That we actually play across some of their right-of-way, and they don't stop us. I think the reason that happened, I mean, the railroad tracks were a part of the golf course that was built in 1930, and that was a 9-hole course. So when they expanded it, I mean, they had to expand it in the same area, and so we end up with the railroad tracks. So we've embraced it. Our logo is a railroad track, and so we've embraced it. And you know, this track isn't terribly busy. It probably has 10 or 15 trains a day, but so it's not terrible. And yeah, we just learned to live with it.
And like you said, I mean, it is in the logo now, so it has become a more iconic piece of this course, which is always nice. But now moving on to a piece of the course that's a little bit more infamous than having a railroad in the middle of your course, which is the big tree that was in the middle of the fairway on 9. I mean, we'll show you a picture of it here right now, but it was so massive, and it's right in the middle of play. I mean, what did you think about it?
Well, I loved it, and I was very, very sad about you know, when we decided to cut it down. Actually, I've been on the Greens Committee, and I was trying to get, we cut it down, I think, last spring, or maybe it was the spring before, but I was trying to get us to wait, you know, a little longer and see how long it would struggle along with the disease it had, and, you know, how long we could leave it. But others were worried about safety and things like that. So we cut it down, and it was an iconic tree on number 9. I think we measured it. It was like 17 feet in circumference, an elm tree of all things.
And what about it? I mean, in terms of being a golfer and playing in a course with a tree right in the middle, what did you want to keep about that? I mean, obviously, it doesn't make for an easier hole.
No, well, it was strategic. It was a problem for the player, and it was probably 260 yards off the back tee. So, you know, the idea was to maybe try and land the ball, if you could, about where the tree was, and then run under and run past, or at least run up under the tree so you could shoot from under the tree. But, you know, if you had a wind in your face or didn't hit your shot well, a lot of times you had to shoot under that tree or over or around that tree for the second shot, and then with water up around the green, it was quite a hole. So it's a different hole. I think it's a much easier hole, but yeah, I really miss the tree. But it's gone, so nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no signs of it now. If you travel along the fairway, I mean, you could potentially see kind of where it was, but
Right.
no signs of it now. Lastly, Bob, like I said, circling back to the Nebraska Ammeter being held here, what does it mean for the golf club to have now hosted it 5 times?
Oh, well, I think it's nice that we do our part. And I think most of the clubs in Nebraska are pretty good about doing their part, about sharing their facilities on a rotating basis. And so Fremont's been good about hosting it. I think this year has kind of captured the interest of quite a few members. I noticed that we actually, I think, have quite a few members volunteering out here. And hopefully we'll see on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe they'll show up and spectate a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have had such an exciting couple rounds thus far, and we still have a couple more days of the Ammeter to go. Updates on that will come, but thank you so much for sitting down with us, Bob, and that's all from here.